Despite being in WWE for over 20 years, John Cena still had many firsts in 2025. At Elimination Chamber, John Cena competed in the titular match and won, earning a shot at the undisputed WWE champion, Cody Rhodes. When Cody came out to congratulate Cena, the leader of the C Nation attacked Rhodes. John Cena turned heel, which Cena hadn't done since 2003. Then, at WrestleMania 41, John Cena fought and defeated Cody Rhodes to win the undisputed WWE championship. This in turn made Cena the first person in WWE history to become a 17-time world champion. Despite winning that many championships, one title that always eluded Cena was the Intercontinental Championship. In fact, John Cena had never even been in an Intercontinental Championship match in his entire career. However, that changed in 2025 when Cena faced the Intercontinental Champion Dominic Mysterio on Raw. The leader of the C Nation won, which not only made him the Intercontinental Champion, but also made him a Triple Crown Champion. For those who don't know, a wrestler becomes a Triple Crown Champion when they have held all three of WWE's original world titles: the WWE Championship, the World Tag Team Championship, and the Intercontinental Championship. However, more shocking than that was what Cena would do a few weeks later. In his final match, John Cena fought Gunther. In a shocking moment, John Cena tapped out after being placed in a sleeper hold. This was the first time in over 20 years that Cena had tapped out. The last time that had happened was in 2004 when Cena lost a triple threat match involving Kurt Angle and The Big Show. In late 2024, WWE introduced the Women's Intercontinental Championship. A tournament was held to crown the inaugural champion, with 12 women competing. After weeks of matches, it ultimately came down to Dakota Kai and Lyra Valkyria. On the January 13th, 2025 episode of Raw, Kai and Valkyria faced off, and a brutal battle ensued. In the end, Lyra Valkyria got the W and became the first Women's Intercontinental Champion. If you were to say 15, 10, or heck, even 5 years ago that WWE and TNA would have a working partnership, chances are you would have been called crazy. However, over the past few years, we've seen these former enemies get pretty friendly with each other. However, things got taken to the next level at WrestleMania 41. Randy Orton issued an open challenge, which was answered by the TNA World Champion, Joe Hendry. For the first time in WrestleMania history, a non-WWE championship appeared on the show. Now, the TNA World Championship wasn't defended that night, but it was later. At NXT Battleground, Hendry faced Trick Williams, who was part of the NXT roster, with the TNA World title on the line. This was the first time a TNA championship was defended in WWE. Making the moment even crazier was that the title changed hands and a signed WWE wrestler became the TNA World Champion. Adding to this craziness, in September 2025, WWE and the Mexican wrestling company AAA hosted the Worlds Collide event. In the main event, WWE's Dominic Mysterio fought the AAA Mega Champion El Hijo del Vikingo. Thanks to some help from El Grande Americano, Dominic won and marked the first time a WWE wrestler had won a AAA championship. Survivor Series 2025 was not only the first time the titular event was held inside a stadium, but it also had one other first. The main event was a 5-on-5 War Games match, with Brock Lesnar being one of the participants. This marked the first time since Lesnar's return in 2012 that the Beast had competed in a tag team match. The last time that had happened was over 20 years ago on February 12, 2004, when Lesnar teamed with The Big Show in a losing effort against Eddie Guerrero and John Cena. In the past few years, The Rock has made a lot of appearances in WWE. However, on January 7th, 2025, the People's Champion made his very first appearance on NXT during their New Year's Evil event. Talking about WWE shows, the company also had some really cool international firsts in 2025. While WWE had hosted events in Spain, Belgium, and Ireland, 2025 was the first time televised events were held in these countries. On the subject of TV, since its inception, SmackDown has always been a weekly, 2-hour-long show. However, that all changed in January 2025. The first SmackDown of the year was 3 hours long. This would be the norm until July, when SmackDown returned to 2 hours. Now here's a kind of disturbing first. 2025 marked the first time WWE fans had seen Chris Benoit's name on SmackDown since 2007. The March 21st, 2025 episode of SmackDown aired from Bologna, Italy. A fan in the front row had brought a replica of the classic World Heavyweight Championship belt. However, notice what was written on the nameplate: Chris Benoit. I'm sure WWE didn't intend for it to happen, but regardless, it did. Here's 2 crazy facts about the 2025 Royal Rumble. Since the very first Royal Rumble in 1988, the event has always been held in January. The 2025 Rumble bucked that trend and held it on February 1st. But this next fact is even crazier. The 2025 30-man Royal Rumble match was the longest Rumble match in WWE history. Yes, it was even longer than the 40-man Rumble match in 2011 and the 50-man Greatest Royal Rumble match in 2018. The 2025 men's Royal Rumble match clocked in at 1 hour, 20 minutes, and 15 seconds, which actually makes it the third longest match in WWE history. But which matches are longer than that? Well, to find out, watch the video on screen.